Fiona and Graham had a dream. It wasn't about a white picket fence or a sprawling suburban home. No, their dream was made of wood, weathered by the sun, and it floated. They poured every penny they had into a beautiful old houseboat they named the Serene, and for a while it was perfect. They'd wake up to the gentle rocking of the water, have coffee on the deck as the sun rose, and spend their evenings watching the stars, feeling like the only two people in the world. It was pure, simple bliss. But dreams have a funny way of turning into nightmares. It started small. A general feeling of unease. Then the arguments began. Sharp, bitter fights that seemed to come out of nowhere, over nothing. Fiona and Graham, once inseparable, became like two strangers trapped in a box. It wasn't just with each other either. They'd snap at the friendly folks at the marina, get into heated arguments with other boaters. It was like a poison had seeped into their very souls, making them irritable, angry, and isolated. The boat itself seemed to be turning on them. A persistent leak started in the galley. No matter how many times Graham patched it, the engine would sputter and die at the worst possible moments. One night, a window in the main cabin shattered for no reason at all, sending a shower of glass across the floor. The Serene was no longer serene. It felt hostile. The unthinkable happened. One morning, Fiona woke up to find Graham gone. A sudden, massive heart attack in his sleep, the doctor said. Just like that, her partner, her love, was taken from her, and Fiona was left a widow, alone on the very boat that was supposed to be their shared paradise. The silence was deafening, broken only by the creaks and groans of the cursed vessel and the sound of her own sobs. Weeks turned into a grief-stricken blur. One rainy afternoon, unable to bear the emptiness, Fiona decided to sort through Graham's things. She went into the small, cramped cabin they'd used for storage. As she was clearing out an old locker, her fingers brushed against a loose wooden panel at the back. It wasn't part of the original design. Prying it open with trembling hands, she found a small hidden compartment. Inside was a dust-covered leather pouch. She opened it to find a tarnished silver amulet shaped like a crashing wave and a yellowed folded letter. The handwriting was an elegant, old-fashioned script, with a hint of a magical, mysterious tone. Her heart pounded as she read. The letter was a confession, written decades ago by the boat's original captain. He wrote of a beautiful woman he'd met, a woman they called the Sea Witch. He'd fallen for her during a long voyage, promising her the world. But he was a married man, and when the time came, he sailed away, leaving her heartbroken on the shore. In her rage and sorrow, the witch had cursed his most prized possession, the boat. The curse was cruel and specific. It would sour any love that blossomed within its walls, turning partners against each other, and it would ultimately claim the life of one of them, leaving the other to live out their days in solitary misery, forever tethered to the vessel of their sorrow. The letter ended with a desperate plea. She said only an act of selfless love from a heart broken by the boat, his curse, can set the next soul free. Fiona dropped the letter, the amulet cold in her palm. It all made sense. The fights, the anger, Graham's death, it wasn't them. It was the boat. It was the curse. A new feeling replaced her grief, a cold, hard resolve. She looked around the cabin, at the ghost of the life she'd lost. The Sea Witch wanted her to live in misery, to wither away alone on this floating tomb. But Fiona wouldn't be another victim. She stared out at the dark, swirling water. She didn't know how, but she was going to break this curse. Not just for herself or for Graham's memory, but for anyone else who might fall prey to the Sea Witch's revenge. Her journey was far from over. It had just begun.